Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? Well, let me bring in my special guest, Nick Lenz. How's it going, man?
It's going good.
And I really appreciate you being on the show with me today. And have you actually seen what we're talking about today? Have you actually watched this anime?
Does this answer your question? I've seen it. I own the season on DVD. And as you can tell by a close look at it, I got one of the voice actors to sign it. And we're going to talk about her in this review. And
Nice.
plus, I have
Nice.
this. I picked this up at Comic Con, this last one I went to.
Nice.
And we're going to talk about her. We are going to talk about this character. Now, I've heard also some behind the scenes stuff related to the show, which that we can discuss here.
Definitely a lot in store today. But let's go ahead and get this out of the way. But okay, first of all, I highly recommend the official release and also read the light novel for yourselves. Like, this story is dark if you read the light novel.
Yes, currently there's 16 books released here. I own the last 7. They do have a slight problem. There's a slight problem with the in-press translation of them. They change characters' names for no explained reason. When we get chance, if we get a chance to do season 3, there is a country in the show which is called by its actual name. In the books, they call it by a complete different name, and they change the name of one of the characters' creators to something really stupid. But the Overlord light novels are really good. They draw a lot from D&D. That's where a lot of the lore comes from. Dungeons and Dragons. There are dragons in the show. This first season, I think there may have been one dragon, but it doesn't do anything. But there is a bit of a set. One of the episodes set up for something that we will see in season 4 of the show.
Definitely a lot of setup. Okay, but let's go through the basic premise and get it out of the way. So basically, this is the very far future. It's this huge MMORPG video game, and the server is about to shut down.
Would you like me to explain the future?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, it's explained that the future that where the main character comes from is a toxic environment, and he has where a master work. The fact that he's very much a loner, and one thing the compilation movie did that the show didn't have, there was a scene that they put in there that was on the show. We actually saw the main character in his original human form. We saw him logging in, and the way he logs in is something out of the Matrix, where he has like a device in the back of his neck. He just plugs a cord in, puts his little VR, because it's basically virtual reality. That's what this thing is.
Wait, didn't SAO have a similar premise with the headgear?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but I read the light novels and I read the manga. It's very similar, but thing is, unlike that one where the main characters got stuck in it and then later got free, this one is only one guy, not a whole bunch of people stuck in it. And they do confirm this in Isekai Quartet. He's from Japan. I think his real name is Sato Sasuke, I believe his real name is. The main character. He goes by a different name in the show. He goes by 2 names in the show, which they changed his name after like the first couple episodes.
Nice. But basically it's the last day of service. The service shuts down. He builds this huge guild. He moves some NPCs around. And as he's waiting for the clock to tick down, you feel the dread. You see someone who doesn't really get out much. And he's just nostalgic for everything he and his guild had built. And then all of a sudden,
he does something interesting before the shutdown happens.
Okay, there are 2 versions of this. Okay,
the main character at this point is called Manga. That's what he's called. He's here with Albedo, this sexy lady, though not wearing this outfit, Cerberus, the butler, and the battle mates. That's who he's here with. They don't speak yet, but they will be speaking. But he does something interesting. He actually alters Alberto's administration. Apparently, he has the ability to alter it because he's friends with the creator of the game. So he alters it where originally it said she is a Bitch, which is also in the book and the manga. And then he changes it to Albedo's love with Momonga. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that's surely
And
not.
he later regrets doing that. But Albedo, when she's told that, like, she doesn't care. She is not giving a damn about that at all.
Oh, it seems someone has joined the panel with us today. So let me go ahead and give them a proper introduction.
Let me try.
Okay.
Wonderbot.
How you doing, Tevye?
Good. Oh, I need to cheer me up. After my blueberry lamp beer that came out today with the one from box office, I need someone to talk to because that broke my million pieces.
All right, we'll get through that if there's time, Tevye. But Nick, go ahead and finish your quick recap.
Continue.
Well, right after he alters it, and then, well, of course, she does nothing. She doesn't speak. Albedo and none of the characters speak. I should point out, though, Momonga is voiced by Chris Guerrero. He did. I actually asked about this in his Twitch stream. He said he got the role. Yeah, because he's on Twitch. He's on Twitch right now, but when he was on Twitch, I did ask him this. Apparently, he got the part because he can do dual. He can voice and give a character two different voices. Because if you notice the English dub of the show, Manga at this point has got two different voices. You have his inner voice, you have his outer voice. Because Chris could do it so well, that's how he was able to do the character. And you probably noticed the whole show, his mouth very rarely moves. That was basically something the animators took from the original light novels, where it was never mentioned if his mouth ever moved whenever he spoke. So that's the reason why when you see him talk in the show, his mouth does not move, because it was never brought up in the original books. And his look that you see in the show, which, by the way, is going to cover this wonderful DVD cover that Soban did. His attire mostly stays the same, except for like one episode of season 4. It's like this weird top hat, it's cloak with unzip in the front, carries on the staff, which apparently had to spend a lot of money basically building the damn thing. The throne is obviously a take on possibly Game of Thrones because it's made of freaking swords.
Yes.
The Guild Hall, I'm not sure what took inspiration from that, but it looks freaking gorgeous in the anime. All these flags everywhere. You don't see much of the Guild itself. They do say that some portions that we're not seeing in the anime, they say that for a video game adaptation of Overlord, we actually tend to explore more of the Guild Hall, the guild itself, because it's underground in a place called Nazarick. That's the name of the place that this is mostly set in. For the first 3 seasons of the show. 4, they don't go Nazarick very much at all, but if we get a chance up season 3 of the other seasons, we'll discuss that. But Jay Blaze, when you saw the anime, what did you think of the main meeting room of Nazarick?
Now, this was like 4 or 5 years ago, like when this anime first dropped. So I thought this was just a typical generic isekai story, and I'm just like, I might actually be wrong on this one. And then I researched the light novels right after episode 1. I went off I believe it was a fan translation at the time.
Yes, I did that too.
Okay.
The fan translation was better translation than the Impress does, because the fan translation actually has a better accurate names for these characters than the official light novels do.
Ironic.
I know what novels. I don't know what anime is. So
it's Overlord.
I think I heard about that one. I never watched it, but
well, definitely give it a shot after this review. But
yes.
I'll check it out. Well, speaking of isekai anime, sorry to interrupt, but one isekai anime I did watch recently is Reincarnated Spider. It's so weird. Like what?
You mean so I'm a spider? So what?
No, yeah, that's a quote.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. So Spider, so what? The late voice actors recommend I see that show because she loved doing that show because she's the voice of the spider.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. Good for her.
Yep, I watched and reviewed the whole series. They haven't announced the second season yet. I have asked her what show she's been in. This is Brittany Knickerbocker talking. She's not in this show, but I have asked her what show she likes in their season 4. so inspired. So what? She really loves to see a season 2 of that one.
Nice. I wanted to
No.
know that it's season 2, but I think they returned to 1. That's why the second Crunchyroll that the day I think came
Yeah.
out. You know.
Now this season originally aired back in 2015.
Okay.
2015?
Yeah,
Wait, are we
2015.
talking about the Spider anime or are we talking about Overlord?
Overlord.
No, Overlord. I think we're talking
Overlord
about.
2015. Seasons 2 and 3 aired in 2018, and I think season 4 aired just last year.
Nice. And I
So,
am really
why the long gap? That's what I'm wondering.
Do not know why. I have heard the reason why when it comes to seasons 2 and 3, where they adapted where they left off, because they want to lift off the first like major arc of the light novels, which was book 9. The first season we'll talk about here adapts the first 3 light novels for the series. They do in fact occasionally do flashbacks to the original world that the novel was set in, occasionally, but not very much at all. We do see Ainz in his original attire before he first joined the guild, in a flashback, and in the last 2 episodes, which we're going to talk about here. Then then he's like, log out. He's like, okay, I'm gonna log out, go to sleep, and just basically get very low sleep and go back to work in the morning. Then all of a sudden the countdown happens, and then he wakes up like, what's going on? What am I still doing here? No countdown clock. And then
what's up, Taladia? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then the NPCs start moving and talking on their own. And this is when we first hear Elizabeth Maxwell as Albedo.
Oh?
Which she is such a delight. Like, Tibby, you probably know her best as Midnight from My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah, I know her. She's good, man, at Midnight.
Solid performance through and through. Now, me personally, I prefer the sub because I actually gotten so used to reading subtitles. But this was one of the best dub performances I've ever seen. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, if you're curious who the dub company is, those who know, it's Funimation. Despite Funimation's, let's just say, some controversy ahead over the years, their dubs very rarely get any controversy. This one, as far as I could tell, I heard nothing but positive praise for the dub.
Find some good news and some negativity for once.
Yeah, and we're going to get to what the whole thing with Albedo in a minute. But she moves. Cerberus, I should point out, though, his original dub actor is only in this season. He gets replaced with the later seasons of the show because his actor died.
Fuck! God damn it.
A moment of silence for our condolences before moving forward.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find his name here. Here we go.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm trying to find his name here. We can get the correct name for the guy here.
Of course.
He Cerberus the Butler. Okay, his name is Cerberus 10. That's the name of the guy. The original season, which we're talking about here, he's voiced by Ed Ballack. I did ask Chris Guerrero about this, and he said that the actor passed away. With seasons 2 and 3, he's played by Bill Jenkins. He played for season 4. The character we see in the opening episode, the Pleiades, otherwise known as the Battle Maids. We have Yuri. She's the woman who's like very tall, basically like with the dark, very kind of like chalkish skin. She has the ability to move her head. Boys with Whitney Rogers. The other ones are Lagriz Regina Beta. She's the one turned Zoerof. And I met her voice actors too, just like basically Albedo's. Voiced by Alexis Tipton. Navarro, which she's going to play a role in this season, voiced by Anastasia Montez. C2-2128 Delta, which the Empress gave her a different name for some stupid reason, voiced by Michelle Ragios, who just joined the One Piece cast as Yamato.
Nice.
I don't watch One Piece, so I'm in the dark on that one.
Yeah.
Highly recommend one of the big 3.
Yep. Solution, who is a slime. Though she's very sexy slime, but she's basically like an evil slime. voiced by Mallory Ruddock. Etama, who is an insect one. She has played a little bit of role here and there. Voiced by Tina Ballard, otherwise known as, people probably know her best as the voice of Happy from Fairy Tale. And the last one is actually not featured in the show because they decided not to include her. Adriel Omega. They decided not to include this one for some reason. I don't know why. Plus, something the show did not include until the recent season. One thing a lot of the show did not include was Albedo's sisters.
Yes, she does have sisters. In the later seasons, we see like one of them, but the novels go into very much detail.
Which the best way to describe her, she's like the Ring girl from the movie The Ring. That's what she's like, except she's got scissors. That's the best way to describe her. As for why Madhouse decided not to include her, I have no idea. Because Madhouse is the studio that made this show. All the seasons, they never skipped one. They also did the first season of One Punch Man. And they also did the 2011 version of Hunter x Hunter.
There
was one of their series shows they did do. They did the Marvel anime.
I did not know
Madhouse, in my honest opinion, is probably one of Japan's best animation studios.
They're definitely up there. Not gonna lie, they're definitely up there.
Yeah, and their style fits Overlord perfectly. Do you agree, Jay Blaze?
I agree. Definitely up there. Now, Studio Bones is a heavy contender too. They have like a Space Dandy, Soul Eater. They're
My Hero.
My Hero Academia, definitely. But if I had to pick, I'd still go with Madhouse. It's a close race, but I'd go with Madhouse.
I would definitely say Toei, but they've had some issues in the last few years.
Yeah, and
the fact they got hacked.
Yeah, there's just a lot of controversy going with Toei right now.
But the show's always turned out really good.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, they're currently the best one right now. The only one they have right now people talk about is One Piece.
Definitely, especially after Gear 5 got its anime debut, which I meant to ask.
Did you hear that when that anime when it first showed up, it crashed the Crunchyroll server 3 times? It crashed the freaking server. Gear 5, and you watch the first episode, and it's like a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Okay, Gear 5 is very wacky, very Toon Force energy. That's kind of the gimmick of the format of itself. But even if it is a little zany, that was just the first episode. Eye popping, like all the characters are doing it, which is so funny. Even Nami does it, which is so funny. Oh, he's like, what the heck? Why does Sylvia look like that for? Oh boy.
I thought that was funny.
But yeah, I kind of fell off One Piece a while back, but at least I came back for Gear 5. I'll be the first to admit that.
Yeah, I'm currently watching the dub. The last one I watched was episode, I think it was 976 was the last one I watast.
So you fell off relatively recently.
No, I've been trying to catch up because they just dubbed. The last time they dubbed, they got to episode 1000.
Yep.
The episode just released, I think it was yesterday because I usually watch them today. It's like episode 1073. So people are theorizing that by this point next year, the dub will be caught up.
Yep. Dub of anime starting to up that money. Apparently the dub on here started 100 years. Apparently after that, you got anime. I just find this now and I'm confused.
One at a time, gentlemen. Nick, go ahead.
Generally, all the ones I've watched have been all dubbed. The only one that I watched recently that the dub has not caught up with it yet is that I haven't watched it for dub for a while. Is Mushoku Tensei. Great show. Check it out. It's really good.
I've heard about that one. I definitely need to check that one out.
It's really good. This season has been sticking really close, really well to original light novels. They're up to book 8 right now.
Nice.
They're about to finish that in book 8. The last episode, they got the chapter 6 of book 8.
And speaking of light novels, again, the Overlord anime is pretty consistent. Like season 1 is like the first 3. Season 2, I believe, goes from volumes 4 to 6. Season 3, 9 to 12. And they did 2
no.
movies.
Season 3 covers 7 through 9.
Oh, 7 through 9. Excuse me.
Season 4 covered volumes 10, 11, and 14. The movies that they did announce for season 4, it's supposed to adapt books 12 and 13, which they have not been released yet. Last I heard,
They're losing stuff, not dub.
Well, there's compilation movies for this season, but the other season don't have compilation movies. I'm talking about movies that are canon in the series that adapt from the light novels. They have not been released yet at all. I've heard, the last I heard, they were just announced. The rumor I heard was they're supposed to come out summer last year, and then I heard something about summer this year. Madhouse has been very quiet about these movies.
They have.
Wait, speaking of Madhouse, aren't they the same people who made the Devin Wonderland? Didn't they make that anime?
I think so.
I want to say so as well.
Yeah, but the way they adapted
I
season
wonder
3,
about that.
when they did season 3,
Because I haven't
they got to
thought-
book 8 first, and then 7 and 9. Because book 8 takes place between books 6 and 7.
Technically,
Wait,
so you
Devin
could
Wonderland
skip book 8
never got
like right
finished.
there, and no one would know the difference.
Yes. So, should we continue?
Oh, definitely. So
Right after
The
they
whole-
arrive, like
Go ahead,
everybody,
Nick.
everybody's wondering what the heck is going on. So everybody's ordered to check the surroundings. You have Cerberus check outside because I think they mentioned that originally in the original world there was like a desert surrounding them.
I want to say so. Some deserts, flat plain, something like that. Nick, can you hear us?
Nick? Yoo-hoo. I think he flows.
Technical difficulties, everyone.
Yep.
But I'll go ahead and take over. Basically, the whole tomb gets isekai. They check their surroundings, and they have no idea what's going on. It's like they're in a completely different world from the game. And it's just a pretty much a catch-up affair. They even, I think they even host a joining party who tried to raid Nazarick into confusion, and that's pretty much episodes 1 and 2 right there. And but while we're waiting on that, Tevia, you said you wanted to talk about like your experience with the Blue Beetle movie.
The movie is good. Like I said, the movie is fantastic. My management for the box office was up now, which I give my rant on the box office and fuck me, I'm pissed off because what? Why have all movies had to underperform? I don't get it. This movie should succeed and not fail. What the fuck?
Now, let's try to keep non-spoilers here because the movie has just been released and not everyone has a chance to see it.
Yep. I knew that. But the movie itself, I think it's a good movie. I said Blue Beetle character, it's body weight, and I think it's a good story. And unlike the new 52 with bullshit Blue Beetle, the movie got Blue Beetle story done right. For the record, the new 52 put the movie so badly that it took years to recover from that.
The way I see it is that there might be a decent movie behind everything going on, but given the writer's strike and everything, the movie is not going to be a commercial success. I feel
fair.
like
It's not fair. What the fuck? Continue.
I mean, think about it. They couldn't really promote the movie in any way. They can't go on press tours. I feel like they would have done a lot better if they had just delayed the film at least until some of the heat died down.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
I get why did the Flash all the marketing that movie failed, but Blue Beetle did not? Like what the hell? Hang on. I need to screenshot this.
go ahead.
Think to me, but bring it ahead. Here it is. Yep. Blue Beetle underperformed at the Owen weekend at the box office. Yep. New movie went top box out weekend, and despite failing to reach the weekend total, people earned turned by over a million in its first 3 days, with 10 million on Friday. Enjoyed the favorite opening. It's always had made these small opening weekends and what do we need for? I don't want to talk about that movie. Don't. Yep. Hello, movie report may logical, but it would mean a soft opening may not turn into a box bomb. There is hope. They told this movie that it may succeed. Again, 50-50.
Oh, I see.
Nick, can you hear us?
Nick, you? No.
I guess he's still having technical difficulties. But from what you're telling me, there's probably no different from what we've already been seeing, Tevia. How this movie might relatively flop. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be flash bad, but it might be considered a flop.
It's not fair. Like, what the fuck? Like, this movie had no controversy. There was no controversy about it. It was a good movie. Like, what the fuck? Good. Like, it is. What the fuck did this go at the marketing? But Blue Whale didn't. What the? It doesn't make any sense. But Bobby made $1 billion? How? How is that possible? How? Like, what the hell? But the Barbie movie made $1 billion.
What? Oh, Harvey?
Yep. Not a lot. But 33 million. Yeah.
Is that DC or Marvel?
DC.
DC.
Yep. But this
Definitely.
movie was good.
Again, I hate that this happened, but again, please go watch this movie. Watch it for yourselves. But
Yep.
and voice your own opinion. Don't just listen to us.
Yeah, like I spread the word. Like
Yeah.
I liked it. I did the movie, Shine. I liked the movie. It was good. It's not fair.
Okay, but
Yeah.
hold on. When does this movie release?
It was August 18th. On
Okay,
my
so
birthday. Hi, birthday to me.
oh, happy late birthday, Tavia.
Thank you. Mhm.
But happy late birthday.
Thank you.
But
Oh,
okay.
Tilly just DM'd you.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's open panel, Taladia. I just sent you the link, so you're welcome to join us if you have time. But while we're waiting for Nick to come back, Overlord is the type of series to where it's not your typical isekai story. It's really not. And you have the net. He's basically trying to rule these people his advisors who practically worship him, and he essentially has to.
Yeah,
pick
you're doing protagonist.
And someone just joined us, so I might as well give them their proper due.
Let me try.
Okay.
Wonderbot.
I hate you.
Oh, by the way. Oh, hey, Nick.
I'm back.
There we go. So before we move on,
Yeah, I'm back.
Taladia,
If you guys are curious what happened, my Wi-Fi decided to cut out for no reason, but now
Damn.
it's back.
technical
Yeah.
difficulties, everybody. But
Yeah.
Before we move on, Taladia, have you seen Overlord? And if you
No.
or if you haven't seen it, what perceptions have you had of this anime so far?
So I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it. I've heard good things about it. I haven't had the opportunity to watch it because I've been watching other things like Mission Impossible, Blue Beetle, all that stuff,
I feel you.
Uh,
That's fair.
and I haven't had the time to get around to it. But I've heard nothing but good things though.
Definitely worth checking out.
Should
But
we pick up where we left off?
definitely. We were just at Momonga and the Nazarite party arriving at the New World. Please continue.
Yeah, so they have everybody looking outside. This is where I think we see but before I have everybody all dismissed. And then comes the scene that Doesn't get talk very much at all. It's a scene where, and this is from the book, where you have Ainz asking Albedo if he can touch her, and then he's like, "Can I touch your chest?" And then gropes her.
And now we're officially demonetized. Thank you, Ned.
Well, that's what happened. Okay, it's what happened. Okay, it's there. It's what happened. I can't ignore it. It's and then pretty much like, yeah. And of course, you like, and then moving on from that, then we have them basically in the situation, looking outside, and then next episode, we have the view of the other floor guardians, which are, well, all but two we're seeing this episode. You have Shultier Bloodfallen, voiced by Felicia Argyle.
That sounds like a vampire.
She is.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
What?
Those,
And who are the two
it's a
elves?
vampire who walk in sunlight.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
That's not possible. Vampires can't walk in the
Yeah.
sun, right?
yeah. She wears this like all black outfit. So then we have Alora Belfour and her brother, Mari. Actually, it's Alora and Mari. Laura is basically a boy. Actually, is a girl. Mari is a boy. Now, Alora is voiced by Joe Harris. Mari is voiced by Megan Chipman. Twin dark elves who cross-dress because it was the creator's
What?
idea to do that. Yep. There's Demiurge.
Who are the two elves? Who are the two elf characters?
Aurora
and Mari.
and Mari.
Fun fact, I actually just met Alora's voice actor last Comic-Con I went to.
Nice.
Joe Harris.
Nice.
Demiurge is voiced by Jeff Johnson. He
Wait,
is
for a moment, I thought you said Jeff Johns.
yeah, it was Jeff Johnson. Kykotis. Here's something interesting about Kykotis. He's voiced by Brian Massey, which just when I watched the series originally back in 2018, just before I started watching Overlord, I had just watched Ace Attorney, which he's also in, voicing a character by the name of Dick Gumshoe, a detective for the local police department. And
Nice.
the one thing the light novel does do, I think the sub does this as well. Kykotis, when he talks very slowly. I don't know why he does this for, but when he in the dub speaks normally, it's his quirk. Demiurge can transform into a frog when he wants to. Sheltier can fly. And of course, she has a thing for Ainz because he's undead. Ainz is a elder lich, basically a giant skeleton. He's basically a big skeleton. He can't. He doesn't have a part to either eat or sleeping. Doesn't need the specific. He has a big bed, as to one of the episodes, which I bet it'll takes time to hop into that bed butt naked and rub herself in all those sheets, and he smells like something smells very nice. He does not know Bella was not bed at all.
Thank God I'm a small channel. Thank God I'm a small channel.
Yeah, and of course she also took time to make a Ainz body pillow. Yes, she seriously took time to make this damn thing. And she kept thinking, ooh, because she's in love with Ainz, she's basically thinking, what kind of kids we're gonna have? Because she's thinking about that. There's other. She's the boss of the Floor Guardians. And of course, this is when we have to introduce everybody, and they introduce everybody in this. I think it's level 5. I think it is. Where they're in the arena. That's where they introduce everybody. Not sure what they pick that area for, not the throne room, but then of course it comes solutions to basically mask Nazarick, putting dirt around the sides of the walls, and put like a special magical barrier there. Of course, by season 3, they basically. At that point, they realized that it was wasting resource at that point to basically conceal Nazarick. So, after all that set up, Ainz just relaxing in his throne room, and he sees on his viewing globe, as in like, oh, look at the viewing globe, everybody. Power Rangers reference. Yeah, so, and then he sees a village nearby under attack by people in armor. course, they explain this from a country that wears their country's armor to frame them for attacking this particular town. So Ainz at first decides to ignore it until he sees two girls being chased by one of them. This is, of course, after their parents have been murdered by these people. This teenage girl and her little sister. So Ainz goes and saves them and gives her two horns to summon goblins, which they come to play later on in this show. Big role for these ones. Then, of course, basically, Ainz just does not put any covering on him. He just goes as is, and then later he zips up his cloak, puts a mask on, and then Belle decides to join him in her debuting her black armor she wears. And then, of course, basically they have then after saving the village, realize, oh crap, that's another attack. But then we're introduced to another new character here, the first major human introduced in the series, a guy by the name of what's his name? He's the chief warrior of this kingdom. I'd look up this guy's name here because he. I'm not gonna be able to say in season 3, but let's see if I can find him here.
Basically, they're trying to actually help these small villages in danger, actually be a hero of sorts. And I believe they're being framed by the Slain Theocracy, if I remember correctly.
Yes. The Slain Theocracy are kind of in the way the main bad guys, one of the main villains of the series. Stronum, I believe his name is the guy who they meet here in the second episode. Actually, it was the third episode. They go to the Karn village. That's the name of the village. They go to the Karn village.
Okay, forgive me for being a sec, but I thought the main battalion was a villain, not a. Hello, did I miss anything here?
Let's see if I can find him here. Okay, so the guy's name is Gaz Stronov. That's the guy's name. And if you can see him, that's what he looks like in the anime. He wears his outfit for pretty much the whole series and carries around a very treasured sword with him. That it's there until the most recent season of the show. And the girls' names are Eri and Nemu. Eri is basically a character who becomes a big character. Cerberus, they mentioned his creator's name. His name is Touch Me. That is Sarah's name was creator. Yeah, the creators picked very weird names. They call them supreme beings in the show. They picked the most weirdest names. And of course, basically, the meeting him gets a special ring. And of course, at the swap, there's also battle swapping. Big battle of the series where Ainz takes on these warriors, and they bring upon one of these angels, which apparently, according to Ainz, is from the item that summoned this angel is from the game he originally came from.
Wait, what?
This summon gets played at the whole series where items from the original world that him and his characters came from end up in this world as well. Now, by book 16, I should point this out, though, that what caused them to come over this world and how the items were out here, never explained.
So what caused the old world to get blown up? Because for why we have in the description it says MMORPG to get destroyed.
Yeah,
So
as
I'm
for what
confused.
caused the transfer, don't know. They never explained in the books at all. Though I have been hearing that the book series was in book 17, then I read book 16, we have 2 books left. So that means we're having book 18 to basically stretch this out for. So, after the Balkarn Village was 2 episodes, Eri, of course, becomes a character who becomes a very important character in the very next story arc. Because she actually knows somebody in the next story arc. But I think the opening book, first book covers the first 4 episodes of the season.
Got it.
Yeah. I think it's
Then they head over to the kingdom of Irantel, I believe, with one of the handmaidens.
Yes. Yeah, that was
Episode 5 and 6.
Yeah, that was Nabro. And when they get there, they have, of course, Ainz, this is debut of his Momon armor. that he wears for pretty much up until very recently. He still wears it. Nabro has to go by Nabi because they can't exactly refer to each other by their own name because they're undercover, and they decided to be adventurers. So they want like the most experienced party, but then, of course, basically, like they go to like a bar first. Where they go to the Adventurers Guild. Now the bartender, believe it or not, and I looked this up years ago, but I'm sure this is still true. The bartender was voiced by Christopher Sabat.
Nice.
The voice of
And
Vegeta.
I think it's probably his only appearance here makes this whole series. As his one bartender for like he only gets, if you listen to the dialogue, he only gets 2 lines in the whole episode, and he's gone. So that was brought in literally for a minor character.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, and then we're also introduced to a character who does play a small role in this season. Does appear occasionally after this. It's a former adventurer who has to retire because of the stuff here. Let's see if we can find him right here. Let's see. No. Because she basically was an adventurer here, and then after she had basically been playing with this new potion that she bought, that she spent so much money buying this damn thing, that it gets broken. I'm trying to find it here.
What's up, Najee? You're pretty good, man. Pretty good.
I'm trying to find it here. Let's see. It's gonna take a bit of time to find her name here, but she makes her debut in the. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about her. Let me look her up on here because she makes her debut in like episode 5. Now Ainz does not remember her name per se, but he does remember the adventurer. Okay, her name is Britta. That's her.
Okay.
So Ainz gives her a red potion, who she then gives appraised by a local potion maker, who is very famous. His grandmother, his name is Lizzie Borden. That's her name. I don't know if this is basically a nod to the real-life axe murderer from the early 1900s. I have no idea, but just by sheer coincidence.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the guy's name is Nefari Berti. That's what he looks like, and he's like this the whole series. Now we can see him. He's a local potion maker. His grandmother is just as famous as he is, and basically at first meets with a local party. The group of people known as the Swords of Darkness, and their members are. Let's see. I actually just saw the names here. Let's see. Because the whole thing with sword, they have the 13 heroes, so that's where the whole name comes from. Here we go. Okay, there's basically about 4 members. There is Peter Mullock, Larrick Volov, Nina, and Diane Woodwaker. Nina basically is somebody who does play a small role in the series because there is 2 mentions here of says for season 2 and season 4. She did mention becoming an adventurer to free her sister. Though here's the thing. She's dressed like a boy. No one knows she's a girl until what happens next after this. She wants to free her sister from slavery. And she also mentions about this dragon off in the mountain someplace. And that dragon, we're not mentioning until season 4 of the show.
Of course.
Yeah, and basically they're there to escort Nai to Karin Village. And this is where I find him and Eri are childhood friends, and he has a thing for her. She is oblivious to this until season 3. And the one thing that tends to bother me about this character is that how the heck can he freaking see? Because he got his hair covering his eyes. You can see one of his eyes, but he's like this the whole series for no explained reason. Like, does he not want to cut his hair or something? So he's brought there, and of course he has to. Of course, this is when we have the debut of the goblins, because Aerith decided to summon them. I think one of his name is. They basically meet some goblins, and they basically help them build up walls around Karn Village. By season 3, the wall is completed. So that's something set for basically it's built, of course, the series. And apparently, when by season 3, when the local kingdom finds out about the wall, they had no idea the wall was even there in the first place, because apparently nobody in this entire country checks in this village. Nobody. So they have no accurate information about this village at all. They had no idea the Karn village is basically under Ain's control. They had no idea about that the whole time. So they get there, and of course they drop some stuff off. They go some botany hunting, find some stuff, got some wolves, and then of course basically, then after they're deal with that, then well, they go back to town to basically, of course, while they're in the forest, this is where we meet Hamsky. The tiny hamster. Yes, he's introduced in this season. It is so hilarious. He's first as the great king of the forest. Yeah, it's so funny. Plus, we're introduced to, in these episodes, to this woman. Lady Clementine at the Black Scripture.
Oh?
She
Basically,
is
the antagonist of this arc, basically, Tavia.
Right.
Yeah, and her voice actor is Michaela Krantz.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's got her armor that she wears. That's not revealed until a later episode. Those are actually the medals that she took from adventurers that she murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Including but not limited to the girl Nick previously referenced.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, she killed them, and a couple of them is turned into zombies.
Of course. Wait,
And-
wait, I need to the
Yes.
fantasy.
So her
MMORPG.
plan is that she stole the Crown of Wisdom, which is this weird garment that they just put on someone's head and they come under mind control. And apparently this control in their princes in their country, they go mad. And they call this the Crown of Wisdom. When I think of a crown, I think of a piece of metal, not this cloth thing that's powered by magic. And then we have, like, after the Avengers are killed, Hamsky is registered. Oh, at the same time. Naru was kidnapped, and Lizzie Borden had to basically surrender everything in order to basically allow Momon to rescue him. And he agreed.
Question.
yes.
About the question. Are the heroes be out with the villains? And I know Overlord the bad guy, but are the heroes are they the good guys, or this is the exact opposite? Like if the villain would have a Death Note, but for Overlord.
They're kind of like anti-heroes in a way.
Yes.
So
The Black Scripture very rarely appear in the series. There is one of them who's got this weird hairstyle, who is voiced by Monica Rael.
Yes.
Yeah, the Black Scripture work for the Slain Theocracy. That's mostly what they do. They're basically kind of like their spy network. That's kind of what the Black Scripture is. Because the Slain Theocracy is kind of like an evil version of the Catholic Church.
Got it.
That's the best way to describe them. So
Yes.
Ainz and Nabare go to the local cemetery because that's where Clementine has their base operations. So, and of course, because they're copper ventures, they of course the guards think they're rookies. But then, of course, he brought Hamsky with it. He proceeds to hop over the wall and deal with a bunch of zombies. And then he does something. Oh my gosh! So he uses power to revive Jack the Ripper. and some other guy. Yes, Jack the Ripper. I'm like, Jack the freaking Ripper. Oh my gosh.
So
Well,
I
he's-
thought Doctor Who anime was that Netflix anime Ragnarok. Try to Ragnarok.
of course,
That's what I thought Doctor
Jack
Who
the Ripper
was.
also appeared in JoJo Bizarre Adventure season 1.
Yeah, but Jodo is a villain, and
He was
Ragnarok
brainwashed
show it's more
by
like she was very gods.
Dio
It's
Brando.
very weird.
Yep. So he summons him as a distraction, and he takes on Clementine, while Nabari takes on Clementine's the old man who works with him. So it's like, then she bows a bunch of attacks on him, and of course she figures out. Asks the question, "How did you find me?" And he's like, "You're very attractive by your medal you carry on you." And then she takes off her cloak and reveals she has this, like, the metal stuff from all the adventures she killed. And then she takes out these knives, does these weird moves, which Ein does later. And she stabs Eins in the eyes. Of course, then she finds out that Eins is actually an Elder Lynch. He's like, "Oh crap, you're Elder Lynch." And then he proceeds to kill her by giving a one-armed bear hug to her, basically strangling her to death.
Damn.
Yeah, what a brutal way to go. And of course, it's his response of of killing her very slowly. Response for killing her, his friends, is his people he was going to use too quickly. Then these original shorts decided to revive her in these shorts where she got resurrected and she got one off and wasn't seen again. I know these are canon. Yeah, it was included in the season 2. It was season 2 stuff that they decided to revive for some reason. Don't know what the purpose of this character being here was, but here's a little fun fact: did you know Ainz kept her knives after this fight? Yeah,
No.
she did. Yeah, he did. He kept knives, and then, of course, basically as a response for saving Nabari, him and Lisa decided to move the car in the village, and of course, he got promoted for this. I think got promoted to I think it was a gold adventurer for this. And then next story, he gets promoted once again. But gold is not the highest rank. It's real season 1. It's platinum. Platinum is the highest rank adventurer.
Of course. Woman, I suppose.
Yeah.
So every MMO has. Wait a minute. Sword Art Online did trope it well. Sword Art Online did the exact same thing. Kind of, sort of.
Similar, but different situation. It's only one guy, not group of people trapped in the virtuality.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. It's the entire ability of all people trying to live the reality, and it just really after both.
Yeah, and during this whole story arc, there's a B plot here that basically that sets up the very next arc here, where you have Shaltair with the vampire brides, because Shaltair is bisexual.
Yep.
So she counters Brain Uglas, a character who plays a role in pretty much the rest of the show, where like he apparently has got his own base with his own mercenaries, and then she's had to fight him, basically break right through him, and he battles her with this special slash move, and she blocks it with her fingernail.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
can you repeat that?
Shaltair blocked a sword move with her fingernail.
Nice.
That is impressive.
Yeah, and this comes to play the very next season when he fights her again. Though apparently she doesn't recognize him when they fight against season 2. So then, like, during the course of this, she goes freaking nuts. Encounters Bertie, who she throws the red potion on her. It's like, and then she finds out about, well, I think she finds out that basically Ainz gave it to her. By the way, Ainz, he takes the name at the end of the first story arc of the season, where he burns, he just knocks on the flag with Momonga's name. So, and I should point out that it's revealed in the very next season, Albedo kept that in her room.
Nice.
And one thing the show does not explain, but it's explored in these original content, which I think is canon. Albedo does not have her own room in Nazarick. She apparently sleeps in the throne room. So Ainz decided to make her own room.
Aw, that's nice.
Yep, where it's got blasted pillows of him and his flag. And it's also she didn't like the fact she changed his name in the first place from Moga to Ainz.
Ow.
Yeah, she didn't like it at all.
Good.
So
I'm hurt on that one.
and then of course then you have Sheltier in her blood craze mode, where apparently she killed the vampire brides, and then she goes crazy, and then it's suspected. Then Ainz gets a phone call right after the whole thing with the whole Clementine. He gets a call from Alberto. It says Sheltier's betrayed us.
Yep.
Which he gets the same phone call in second season, where another character they think has betrayed them. This one they kind of have, and then Ainz and Alberto go by themselves to where, of course, they check everything. There's possible corruption, and it's found out that Sheltier has got a world item with her. Who gave it to her? That is not found out until book 16.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wait that long.
Anyway, gentlemen, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I gotta go. I gotta go eat for dinner. I gotta go to dinner for my
definitely.
family.
Thanks for hopping on.
My business.
All
Anytime,
right, see you,
guys.
Tevia.
See
So,
ya.
Lottie, you've been awfully quiet. What do you think of the premise so far?
So far, I like it. So I'm definitely gonna be checking it out when I get time, because there's a lot of things happening. Obviously there's a lot to take in here from what I'm learning. So about the show. So obviously I'll give it a chance, give it a shot to watch.
Appreciate it, man. All I can do is you check it out, man. That's all I can ask.
Yep.
But what episode are we on now? Since we're cutting through everything, are we on episode 6, 7 at this point?
I think we're getting close to wrap because I kind of summarized the second book of episodes, which lead into the stuff for book 3.
Okay.
Which so before Ainz goes to battle, he has to go to battle by himself. But first, he takes Alberto and Yuri to the treasure room, and we're introduced to a brand new character, another floor guardian, per se. According to Alberto, all she knows is that he exists, and his name is Pandora's Actor.
Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah, in the dub, he's voiced by Eric Vale. And when you first see him, he decides to disguise himself as Alberto's creator, because he's a shapeshifter. And his natural form is that he dresses in a German uniform, and he speaks with a German accent because apparently Manga basically was so bored. And fun fact, this is the only NPC he ever created. He created anybody else. All the rest of the ones you see, the whole series, were all created by his friends. Cerberus, Alberto, other people. Pandora's Actor is the one he created. So they're also getting special rings at the start of the series, forgot to mention, where they have to surrender them when he gets to a special room. And then it's revealed that they go to this next vault, and there's this Hall of Heroes type of thing, where it has all their supreme beings, what they call, all the armor and weapons, and they're all kept in this vault. And they're displayed like it's basically like a memorial, a mausoleum to basically his friends, basically the supreme beings. And there's a little bit a cut out of this scene, a tiny bit, not much, where basically he goes by himself. Of course, Bell worries about him, and of course he asks, "Do you have experience?" This is something that's cut from the anime. And of course, she thinks sexual experience, but no, that's not what he means. Battle experience, and she doesn't have much at all. So he will try to come back alive, and of course she's crying here. One of the rare times she cries in the series, and this is not fake, this is genuine because she deeply cares about him. So then he decides to ditch the outfit he wears, puts on his pre-guild outfit, and of course he gives some of the weapons to the elves. Albedo's not given a weapon per se, so basically then you have Ainz's office, which I think this was the second, third time appeared in the season at this point. Where in the office you have Kykotis, Demiurge, Albedo, and I think that was it in the scene because I don't think anybody else was considering these couches. It's like a regular office with couches. So they're watching the battle, and it's a great battle. It takes up 2 episodes, this battle. And the final episode is called PC versus NPC, where they fight for quite a while. And Shaltier's like, oh, she's having so much fun, basically battling her former master. And Ainz regrettably has to kill her. But then, of course, he brings up apparently the way resurrection works. He had to pay all this money to resurrect her. And when she comes back, she's butt naked. And her first response is, oh no, they've shrunk. Because she's complaining about her breast size. It's Japanese anime, what do you expect?
I think the banner speaks for itself.
Yeah. So he, of course, Ainz hugs her, and of course, she's been cleared of all the corruption. And of course, basically, he'll put more protection spells forward. And basically, we kind of wrap it up there with not much set up for season 2 per se, but basically they have the big, of course, one thing I mentioned because we got to wrap because I have dinner ready right now. But what Blaze, what did you think of the opening theme song for the show?
Oh, it was hype. Like, this was a very solid song. Like, I had a time with it. Now, personally, for season 1, I like the ending more. But when we get to season 2, man, that's a vibe, man. Season 2.
I believe that the ending is taken from the covers of the manga. It's mostly just battle in the ending sequence.
Yeah, because
the only show that does this, where it basically is the original drawings from the original creator, is Saga Time Evil. The rest of them don't do this.
And let me ask, is it a 30 to 40-minute episode per episode, or?
No, it's like about 23 minutes. And
Okay.
It's 13 episodes the first season. Each season is always same length, 13. I like the Thomas theme songs the first 3 seasons. Not the biggest fan of the one they have with the 4th season. I thought that was I think it was the weakest of the 4 songs.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm getting ready for dinner as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to final thoughts and an opportunity for you guys to promote your channels.
Final thoughts? Overlord Season 1 is amazing.
And for me, it's like I can't wait to watch the first season just to kind of catch up where these guys are right now. And in terms of what I've got coming out, I've got a collab with Jay Heat coming after Gamescom. We'll be talking about the event, which is pretty cool. We're going to set a date and a time, so stay tuned for that.
And Nick wants to promote something as well.
Well, I would show off what I'm currently reading right now, which is Saga Time Book 11.
Nice.
Which, if you watch the ending credits of the show, they use the covers from this very series as part of the ending credits.
Nice.
And here's a fun fact for you about this show's first 3 seasons and the song for Saga Time Evil. There is an English cover song for the show done by Amanda Lee, and she appears in season 2 as one of the characters. As she's one of the lizard people.
But that is a topic for season 2. Hopefully, we can all meet together again to talk about season 2. And who knows? Maybe I might cover Rise of Shield Hero as well. But as for me, I'm currently setting up God Killer 2, some final preparations on that. Hopefully, we can meet for next Sunday on the 27th for that. But more than likely, that's going to get delayed. I will post some details on my community tab. And my 2100 Samurai review is in the works. So everyone, it's been a blast. Thank you for showing up to this very
I do have
last
some videos come up later today, so check out those on my YouTube channel.
Definitely. Please like and comment, subscribe to these guys on their channels. I will leave, hopefully if I remember, I will leave a link in the description below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and flame off.
Super Wonder. Whoa!